Hi guys, welcome to the first monthly magic. So I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a different vibe with you guys. I'm showing my microphone. This is really what I use for my voiceover. So I kind of wanted to do like a podcast style vibe. I'm pretty sure you're sick of seeing my hands. But yeah, this is gonna be a whole new look. I'm going to put kind of like a little chase lounge. I'm trying to look for a really vintage, nice gothic piece for this section. So that way I can sit over there. It'll be like a little bit nicer than what we're doing now, but baby steps, guys. So I have some notes and I am so excited for this March. I feel like there's so much happening. There's so much like feminine power happening. And I think to really start monthly magic, I feel like March is awesome. I really wanted to do 2022, start off with a bang with January and February, and it was just too crazy. But we're here. We're gonna go through all of the dates. We're gonna go through some crystals, some goddesses, some activities, what you can do, spell work. It's gonna be a really short, I hope, and fun learning. Grab some notes and we'll go through the whole month of March as much as I know. If I do find some other things, I'll post them in the community tab. But yeah, I have my notes and here we go, monthly magic. All right, so starting off with the first, which is today. I'm getting this in. Stupidly, I forgot that February is only like 28 days and I thought that I had more days, but Janine is just like, it's just all over the place. So the first, here we go. Okay, so let's start off with March 1st. So March 1st is Matronalia, and Matronalia is a great festival that they have. Really a lot of Romans used to do it, but now I feel like it's getting more and more like popular. And one of the Roman goddesses that they would honor on Matronalia is the Roman goddess Juno. And if you are more of a Greek pantheon, then you would really probably associate with Hera, as she is her counterpart. Now on Matronalia, it's really awesome to kind of like, you know, celebrate women, celebrate motherhood. People get married on Matronalia. It's kind of like a little bit of Beltane vibes, but less on like fertility and more on the divine feminine, right? So like women got treated a little bit better on Matronalia, and it's just really nice. Like I feel like Matronalia should be the Galentine, right? So Matronalia is really the female counterpart of Saturnalia, right? So that's when we celebrate Jupiter, and rightfully so, because Juno and Jupiter were married. So when it comes to Juno's and Jupiter's relationship, we will get into the goddess part of monthly magic for March. So in March, I really love to pretty much celebrate two goddesses or two archetypes of the goddess. So for the beginning of the month, I really love to celebrate Juno and really love to celebrate, you know, the nurturing and the fertility that Juno really represents, and marriage and things like that. But it's interesting that we choose Juno because Juno's and Jupiter's relationship wasn't always the greatest. And what's funny about that is that, well, not so funny, is that Juno wanted to be pretty much equal with Jupiter, which is, you know, which is not a lot to ask. You know, she is a very divine goddess. She's a triple moon goddess. I believe she is one of the asteroids too, like a very powerful goddess. So when she was married to Jupiter, she wanted to, you know, just have some balance. So in order to do that, Juno gave really all her power, all her sovereignty to Jupiter, and Jupiter kind of took that and really took advantage of her. So it's really sad because, you know, it was more of like an abuse, and he would really torment her and it's really disempower her, and, you know, it really made Juno really bitter. And, you know, And if you guys really want to dig into Juno, and I feel like you should, especially throughout the month of March, meditate on her, look for certain things that, research some, articles and things about Juno and Jupiter, and it's very, very interesting. But Juno gave her power, and instead of making it like about balance, like he took away again her sovereignty, he took away her temples, he took away pretty much all of the things that really were the embodiment of Juno. So really, in an abusive way, Jupiter really took advantage of Juno once she gave over, her powers and things like that. So when we think about Juno, we think about like women, not only women empowerment, but, things that happen with abuse with women and things like that. So pretty much in the beginning of March, when we talk about matronalia, it's really nice if you want to do any community service. It's a perfect time to donate or even get involved in organizations and things like that for, women, domestic violence, abusive relationships and things like that, because that's really was so important to Juno, and she really fought to get her, her power back. Okay, so for the 2nd of March, which is tomorrow, we have our beautiful new moon in Pisces. Now, it's a really good time to get like that, keep with that Juno energy, keep on researching. I'm telling you, you won't regret it if you haven't worked with Juno or don't even know who Juno is. So definitely do your research. But the new moon in Pisces is such a just chill, relax, get your thoughts in order, your aspirations. Like I know that especially a new moon that falls in the beginning, like very beginning of the month, you want to, you have this kind of burst of energy and you want to, do things and you want to make sure that your goals get met. And throughout the month, like things fall off and things come to fruition. That's just the name of the game. But in Pisces specifically, you don't want to make any decisions or go too fast. You want to think, prepare yourself, and organize yourself pretty much into the first quarter. So for tomorrow, the new moon in Pisces, what I suggest for you is just to kind of soak up some moon energy, charge your crystals, and things like that. Get some new moon water and really start to journal, start to contemplate, start to organize yourself and not make any decisions until pretty much after the first quarter. Now, March 10th is our first quarter. So you're really starting to begin to rein in those aspirations. Your goals are starting to come to life. So what's really nice about the first quarter is that Venus and Mars are conjunct in Capricorn. So what does that mean is that Venus, just that loyalty, that really finding, the beauty in things and being grounded because she is an earth element, with the Cap, being very diligent and things like that. The way that they are conjunct is that we're so aligned. Around the first quarter, which is the 10th, you're going to know what you want and how to get it. So with that, we can, build up some consistency, right? So you get the new moon from the 2nd, which is tomorrow. Start to plan, start to think. Don't do anything too serious. And then around the first quarter that's when you should kind of plug it in. You have Venus, Mars, conjunct with Capricorn. Like everything will pretty much feel aligned and you would just start to click, and that's when the real work should start. So around the first quarter, I would start, doing spell work, doing things to kind of gear up for the second half of the month, which things are going to get done. So I have a March 16th. I typically love to start prepping for full moons, prepping for rituals. If I'm meeting with the coven, what are we talking about? Prepping for things that I either have to organize this month. I am running Ostara for the coven. So around the 16th is when I really start to now line everything up. So the 16th, you'll probably see like an altar video from me, so be on the lookout for that. I cannot wait to decorate my altar for Ostara. It's like one of my favorite. It's just so colorful and so cheery and just so beautiful and like have an innocent vibe about it. So the 16th is when we should start doing that. I mean, you can start doing that earlier, but I mean, 16th for me is around that date where we want to start prepping, cleaning off our altars, cleansing our spaces, and prepping for full moon and prepping for our beautiful Sabbath for Ostara. So again, that was only a couple days before the full moon. Now we have March 18th is the full moon in Virgo. And the full moon in Virgo, guys, it's such a good full moon. It's like a beautiful earth sign and you're going to feel so great. And what Virgo is amazing for, especially in a full moon, it's all about illumination, like all about illumination. So things that are not servicing you, things that are not working, you know, like things that you're gonna all of a sudden, it's gonna come to light from the illumination of the Virgo. It's going to come to light exactly what's in its place and what isn't. So if you aren't ready to tackle some things, you're gonna find it very easy to be like, okay, this is not my month for it. I'll come back to it next month, or I'll just completely let it go. So let go. So I have here, let go of completed projects and don't attach yourself to them. So again, like Virgo is an earth sign and I'm a Taurus. So like earth girls, like sometimes we love to hoard and we love to we have like this attachment. And I think that's just especially of Taurians. Like I am so guilty of just holding on to things because they either have sentimental value or I can use it on a different time, or, you know, I'm a crafter. So becoming a crafter, a creative, a Taurus, it's just like, I need to, when things are done, you have to let them go. So this full moon is all about enlightenment. It's all about from that Virgo. I mean, you have earth energy, you're grounded. So you're going to know from the first quarter, you're going to know what exactly, from everything being in conjunct, you're going to know exactly what you need. So by the time the full moon comes, you're ready to do the work. And you should absolutely, if you've done spell work and they've come to fruition, or you've done other work and they've served its purpose, let it go and discard of all of the elements properly. So if you haven't gotten that calendar yet, get it. If you haven't done a yearly tarot spread, I suggest that you do that and then leave it, take a picture. Sometimes I like to press it on glass and put it up for the year so I can constantly see, but all that good stuff is good for the full moon. And some questions that I have are, am I missing anything? What is complete and ready to be filed away? Am I organized enough to be effective? So those are all the good questions that you can journal on the full moon, especially is what is complete and ready to be filed away, and what can I do to be more effective with my time as far as organization. And it's also like a worm moon. So worm moon is really cool. I also call it worm moon because I start to actually see, some worms when, I'm trying to like dig some early kind of spring bulbs. But yeah, it's really from like a native, American tradition. They used to call it worm moon. And really all that is that when the snow or, the ground is getting warmer, signs of vegetation, signs of things that are to grow, you start seeing earthworms. So around March are really when a lot of earthworms kind of make their way to the surface and crawl back down. So that's where we kind of get the worm moon from. But it's also called crow moon, crust moon, chaste moon, sugar moon, and sap moon, which sap, I can understand that too. But I really kind of associate myself and my surroundings with the worm moon. All right, so now we are getting into the 19th, and the 19th is Minerva's Day. And Minerva is actually very interesting how we have Minerva towards the end of the month and we have Juno in the beginning of the month. So Minerva was a goddess that was kind of made from Jupiter. So when she was born, she was already she was already kind of, you know, ready to go to war. She is a goddess of war, wisdom, and healing. So she basically came, I think she was made out of Jupiter's brain, like a piece of his brain. I mean, don't quote me on that. I'm still kind of learning my Roman mythology. But yeah, she was fully blossomed by Jupiter. And, you know, she really fought alongside of him. And I think that she even had his shield when she was fighting. And she's just the embodiment of courage, of strong feminine, you know, honor and things like that. So, you know, Jupiter found Minerva so fascinating, and he was so proud of her that Juno really, you know, kind of didn't like that, and they had like their tiffs and things like that. So it's really interesting that you have polar opposites, and it's really all about the balance, and you should, right? So Juno, you have the goddess of marriage and birth and things like that, whereas Minerva, which is really kind of associated with Juno, is more about wisdom, war, and honor and healing and things like that. So what I really, really love about Minerva, especially on Minerva's day, and one story about Minerva, she has so many, but Arachne. So Arachne was a really good like spinner, like a weaver, and so was Minerva. So even though she was really brute and she was really strong, but I think Juno's main jealousy is that she had such strong hands to fight in like war situations, but then she was delicate enough to make like beautiful weaves and beautiful things out of spun, you know, gold and whatever she was doing. So Arachne was also really good at weaving. So Arachne was just like running her mouth at one point, and she was like, I am the best weaver of like all time or whatever. And Juno's like, excuse me, like you're just a regular person. I'm actually like a goddess, and I'm a better weaver than you. So they had a competition, and of course, Minerva won. And Arachne was just so upset. So I think she actually tried to commit suicide because of that loss. And Minerva was like, nope, I'm going to do something worse. She's so bad. She's like, I'm gonna like do something worse. So Minerva turned Arachne into a spider, and then that way she can just kind of spin her web and weave, and it'll be like a symbol of, you know, the day that she kind of lost to goddess Minerva. So very dark, very interesting. But of course, on Minerva's day, we use that kind of folklore. We use other things from Minerva to see like how can we celebrate these things. So Minerva was also a very amazing goddess. So things like that on this day is like, I would love to play fun games, competition games with my family, like have a game night, have friendly competition. I know in Minerva festivals, people love to do arts and crafts and things like that. So you know, weave and do different like craftsman type stuff. So it's really fun to either do arts and crafts, play, you know, some games with your family and friends, and kind of get into that competitive spirit that Minerva is known for. All right, so I'm really trying to keep this so short, but I love storytelling and it's just so fun. And this is our first monthly magic. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know about the surroundings. Again, it will be a little bit more cozier, you know, there as time progresses, and you'll get to grow with me. There's a lot of changes happening in the house right now. So let me know what you guys think. Also, really fun stuff happening on Instagram. So you can always follow me here on Instagram and, you know, kind of see what I'm up to over there. So, all right. So for the 20th, it's Ostara. It's Earth Day. It's such a great day. It's so fun. And, I love spending like Ostara and Beltane. Like I love these type of festivals when I go to my coven, because I just see like the children running around and it's getting warmer and everyone's so happy. And it's just, Ostara to me is such like a beckoning of such good times. And A lot of people do Ostara differently, but my number one thing to do for Ostara is really to show divine gratitude. So I will link a card or have it below for a video that I have 10 ways to show divine gratitude. So do one of those. I also have a kit called Beauty and Compassion. I'll leave that below. That's in my apothecary shop. There you can paint eggs with your kiddos, with your friends, with your family. I give you a whole spell work to do, and it's basically about giving divine gratitude and asking for nothing in return. We do a lot of spell work, we do a lot of manifestations, we do a lot of intention work, and we're kind of always asking. And yes, we honor the god and goddess, but it's always nice to take moments of the year just specifically to quiet everything down and give, thank you, gratitude, and consideration for the goddess. And just don't ask for anything. Just love them, thank them for kind of providing the guidance throughout the year. So that's what I love to do for Ostara. I also, if I'm kind of trying to write a children's, children's literature, I'm trying to write and illustrate a children's book. So before I do that, I'm just kind of sharing some stories, sharing some of my traditions here on YouTube. So if you wanted to hear about my version of Ostara and Ostra and the hair, the goddess in the hair, definitely check out the link below. That's my story time all about beauty and compassion. So all of my story times are the same names as my spell kits because it's just so perfect. So check that out. It's a story time. Cuddle up with some tea with your kiddos, and it's such a great feel-good story about the goddess and the hair. On the 25th, I will be doing another live meditation over on the Cool Crone's channel. I'll link her channel below. Last time in February, we did our first live meditation. Tons of people showed up. I love their energy. They meditated with us. We shared how we felt after meditation afterwards. So try to make that, but she usually does save her videos in case you want to meditate with us at a different time. But try to join us live. We are live on StreamYard. We go through all the astrology talks. She's actually my astrology teacher. So we do a whole bunch of astrogab. We do a live healing meditation, and then we just kind of have a discussion after that. So it's really always fun. Okay, so for March's crystal, and if you've been following me or not, for the shop for Lipstick Legion craft on Etsy, I always choose a crystal for the Sabbath. So for Ostara, I've chosen a watermelon fluorite. So they haven't gotten to me yet. So when they do, I'll post it on my community page. I'll let you know when they're available, but it's beautiful. So this is a regular piece of fluorite, but the bottom here is all green, and then the top is like a pink and a purple. It's just watermelon fluorite. It's just, I've been kind of like foaming at the mouth for it because it's just so amazing. And it's just my number one crystal for Ostara 2022. So, but it does still have ribbons. So I will say that, for fluorite in general, it's still beautiful for this time of the year. So fluorite diffuses negativity, stress, and all that kind of good stuff. It creates perfect order within the body by cleansing, purifying, and dispelling anything that is not in perfect order. So that's kind of like exactly perfect with the full moon that we're talking about. Like anything that is not in order, this will help you dispel it, especially when it comes to the watermelon portion of fluorite. So spiritually, it heightens intuitive powers. It makes you more aware or of higher spiritual realities, and it enhances and quicken your spiritual awakening. So it's all about just being illuminated and aware, Okay, so the spell work that we can do, again, the spell work, I have a kit called Beauty and Compassion. So I will put pictures of what that looks like here. That's in my apothecary shop. So I'll leave the links below. So you can do the spell work for that, or you can look at my 10 ways to give divine gratitude. I would definitely suggest looking at that and maybe trying a couple for this Ostara, and just really, it's such a feel-good vibe between you and your patron deities to kind of have that relationship where you know it's not just like a one-way street. And again, the tarot spread. If you haven't done a yearly tarot spread, then now is the time to do it. Now, activities. Let's talk about activities. So fun. So the first thing that I started, and this is kind of like in my baby stage, is that I created a terrarium. So this is what it looks like. I have my spirit animal, which is a stag, and I have a doe in there. I have some, baby plants that are just starting to grow. And what's nice about this is that I can keep this, I could put a little bit of water and it kind of like self-sustains itself. Like it'll get really misty in here and it will do like the whole condensation, and it will keep its like soil nice and moist once I keep the top on. Definitely organize, get a planner, things that you can do this month for sure. If you haven't decided on getting one, get yourself a planner. It's very fun, and just take everything out of your room and reorganize it. That's what I did here. I took a lot of things out. I started getting organized, and I felt like the oomph to do that, right? And that's all about what's happening in March. You're going to feel that pull. You're going to get that like enlightenment from Virgo to be like, okay, this is what I need to do. Another fun thing, especially if it's going off the full moon Virgo vibes with letting go of things, is have a yard sale. If you are in a warmer area and where weather can permit, definitely have yourself a yard sale and get rid of stuff, get some funds, and that way you can put it towards other awesome things throughout the year. And the last thing that I have is to create an Ostara basket for family members, friends, for coven mates, for anyone special. So I think I'm going to do like maybe a witchy Ostara basket from the Dollar Tree. Like, let's just see how many items I can get and make it look really nice and kind of aesthetic with only using Dollar Tree items. If you want that, definitely let me know, because that sounds really interesting. Either Five Below, Dollar Tree, or something like that. But let's create a basket that's just so full of witchy goodness. And I think that's such a fun activity to do for this month. And that is it, you guys. I hope that you enjoy this video. It's really just me talking with you, us gabbing back and forth, nothing too crazy, nothing too special. I'm just really happy to share this information with you and kind of just break down the month. And again, I hope that it's really helpful for you. I'm down for any suggestions. We just started this segment, so kind words, kind suggestions are always appreciated. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.